October 1989. The Cold War is heating up, and the Soviet advance into Everon and Ireland threatens to tip the balance of power. As a new recruit to Arma Reforger, your survival and the success of NATO operations depends on first mastering the basics. With Ivan now on the offensive, the fate of the free world rests in your hands. The Soviet Union may have cast the die, but the Lord will determine how they fall. This first episode is part of a series designed for new players on console and PC joining Arma Reforger's main vanilla game mode, Conflict, and focuses on the essentials of combat in 1989. We'll cover three main areas in this series: combat, communication, and logistics. In this tape, we'll focus on combat, which can be broken down into three subcategories: movement, marksmanship, and the medical system. As Major Richard Winters of the 101st Airborne once said, every military operation, no matter how large or small, has two components: a scheme of maneuver and a plan for fire support. So, let us first start with movement. Movement in Arma Reforger is simple, and you can rebind the keys in the settings. For Xbox and PlayStation users, check the bottom of the film for your keybinds. Basic movement uses W, A, S, and D. Sprint with left shift, and jump or vault with spacebar. Crouch by pressing X to reduce your profile and stabilize aim, and press Z to go prone. You can also lean right with E and left with Q, with or without your weapon. But remember, the faster you move, the louder you are. To keep quiet in the field, let's quickly discuss tactical positioning. Based on the infantry handbook, always be ready to find cover or concealment within 3 to 5 seconds from your location. Ivan may catch you off guard in the chaos of war, thus it is paramount to be vigilant of your surroundings and how to use them for your advantage. Luckily, both Ireland and Everon feature cover that stops bullets, such as a sandbag wall, and you'll also have the option of concealment. Both islands have a lot of vegetation, such as this bush. Just remember, it may not render in from distances and can be very loud when passing through. Thus, limiting noise is essential for long-term survival. If your position is not yet located, Reforger has a long list of cues that can allow for the enemy to hear you. For one, speaking in game can be heard by all factions. All sorts of bushes, sticks, lights, and birds all can give your position away. To emit less noise, reduce speed. Scroll down with your mouse scroll wheel, and it will slow down your walking speed. This will save your life inside buildings and in the woods. When you're ready to eliminate Ivan, press 1 to pull out your rifle. Use the right mouse button to aim, and left mouse button to fire. Dang, look at that thing go. Thanks, Eugene. Reload with the R key. For the default M16A2 rifle, switch from single fire to burst mode with the V key for medium to short range combat. If you need to hurt Ivan at close range, press the middle mouse button to melee with the butt of your rifle, or you can hold R, look at the end of your barrel, and equip your M9 bayonet, and once again, press the middle mouse button. The M16A2 is the main service rifle for a reason, and a professional infantryman can arguably do more damage with this rifle than any other weapon in the field. In your first hours in the field, get comfortable with your rifle. The man who only uses specialized weapons will die the moment they get into a one-on-one situation with Ivan. Stay smart and stick with the cheap default loadout. Most of your combat will be at a distance, though ideally lower than 300 meters. At longer ranges, bullets don't fly straight, they arc. Adjust your sights with page up and page down to match the target's distance. Watch your tracers. They're your guide to correcting your fire. We will cover this much further in a future tape, but leading shots and zeroing into target takes time and experience. Accuracy is not luck, it is a science. After clearing an area of Ivan, switch your rifle to safety using the delete key, and lower it by double tapping left control. You can immediately ready your rifle by aiming in. This can save your life. Medical aid is the third and final major element you will need in your first hour in the field. Knowing the medical system dramatically improves your chances for survival, especially if you can understand what items to use for certain situations and when. Before anything, know your inventory hotkeys. Your rifle is in the first slot by default. Bandages, tourniquets, and other items are also assigned to specific hotkeys by default. If God smites you and you get injured, you'll first want to find a safe spot. If you suffered an injury to a limb, hotkey for your tourniquet. This roll of Hubba Bubba Gum is assigned by default on the 7 key. So press 7 and apply it by pressing R. It will automatically start tourniqueting the most affected limb, but it will not stop bleeding. To stop the bleed, press 6 to bring out a bandage, and once again, apply it by pressing R. Bandages not only stop bleeding, but will also stop health loss. However, you'll need a saline bag from a medical tent to actually regain health. You can also use morphine to speed up the healing process and reduce the impact of the injuries on your body. If this is all too much for you, you can also use medical items by pressing the tab key to open your inventory, click on the medical icons on your player, and apply whatever it suggests by holding F. In this case, I will use a saline bag to regain health. Just know this takes a lot longer during a very critical time. The injury icons on your player all have designated meanings. There is 4 total, though you'll rarely need to remember them all. You don't have to be Eugene Rowe in Reforger, but here they are if you want them. Almost just as importantly, if you found a downed squad mate, make sure the area is clear before attempting to heal them. Equip the item needed to administer the first aid and quickly press the F key on the affected area. Situations requiring a tourniquet can quickly turn fatal. Thus, I advise to attempt to render aid with a tourniquet first if you do not know where the injury is located. If you are still unsure what injuries they may have sustained, press and hold the F key on their body to search injuries. You can quickly understand their injuries and stabilize your patient. You may also need to use morphine or saline to wake them up from their unconscious state. If you run out of medical supplies, check your patient, dead AI, dead teammates, or local vehicles for medical items. And with that said, these 3 combat basics will help you survive your first hours in Arma Reforger. It is essential that we know the absolute basics prior to getting into the meat and potatoes of Reforger. This just scratches the surface of the 3 major pillars of Arma Reforger and its vanilla game mode, Conflict. Reminder to grab a saline bag and even a second tourniquet from a medical tent before entering the field. This will be covered extensively in a future tape, but a medical tent is a building that can be sometimes found at your base or at some spawn points. You can find one by looking for this icon on the map. Until you feel confident with the logistics pillar of the game, stay far away from taking more gear than needed. Many new recruits contribute to their team's loss by just being unfamiliar with supply. Especially in early game against AI, there is no reason to be taking more than needed. With that said, I just want to plainly say, welcome, and I hope that this series can produce productive recruits that will change the war. We are facing greater threats today than Guba in 1985. Make sure to comment and look out for future episodes. This has been John Reforger from Alpha Main, and I will see you in the field.